Well, this is my video response to WhitLineFilms challenge. I want to take this opportunity right now to say I very much appreciate the fact that you've stood up along with everybody else who posts a video. I encourage people to go and see the links to the brotherhoodofthecdl.com. I'll have them posted right over there. Hopefully something here does change pretty soon. I know I'm a Canadian. I don't have a voice for the American drivers. However, just being a brother of all the truckers out there, and having driven the American roads, I do believe that there are some issues that need to be addressed. My thing right now would be the fact of the Mexicans going into the U.S. and driving. I haven't really kept up too much on that. Been a little bit too busy and concerning myself more with Canadian laws than the American laws at this point. I don't really have a say as to whether or not the Americans should allow the Mexican trucks into the U.S. However, my issue with that is the fact of when they revamped the laws in the U.S., they had basically abolished the rights or the ease of doing it in transit for a Canadian to drive across the U.S. There are various reasons as to why in transit was a good idea, company-wise and driver-wise. At this point, I think that it's only really hurt the U.S. to do that. Talking to many drivers up here in Canada who, anytime they had to go from Toronto to Vancouver, let's say, they would take the load in transit. And for the reasons of, one, the roads are better down in the States. Two, there's more stops, just rest areas, places to sleep, fuel stops. Fuel is cheaper, at least at that point. It was cheaper for the fuel down in the U.S. And you know, other reasons, personal or, like I said, company-wise. I never really got into the company end of it as to why it would have been better for an in-transit to go down. But basically, since they revamped those laws, I haven't gone in transit in years because of that. If you do go in transit, there's so many loopholes to go through that it's not even worth it. You're going to spend more time going through the paperwork and the loopholes than it is to just drive the Canadian roads straight across. Even if it is bad weather up in Canada and it's better weather on the 90-94. I'm just curious as to why the Mexicans can go in through the U.S. now with their loads, and the fact that they're not regulated to keep their vehicles in any condition anywhere remotely close to what Canadians are. Canadians and Americans were pretty close for the safety aspect and just laws in general compared to the Americans and the Mexicans. I would like to see in-transits go back through the U.S. For the reasons as I've stated. Just the better roads, first of all. I mean, that the wear and tear on the vehicle as a leaser or an owner-operator. The roads are just in such a horrendous condition up in northern Ontario or you know, through Saskatchewan, Manitoba, that over a period of time it wreaks havoc on a lot of vital parts on your rig. Whereas in the U.S. there, I mean, you got bad stretches around North Dakota and that sort of stuff. If I can remember, there was a little bit in Montana, but compared to Canadian road, those are nothing. It's like riding on a cloud. So, yeah, just the fact of the Mexicans are seeming to have more rights than the Canadians, who have, you know, pretty much stuck by the U.S. There's been a couple of issues, I guess, with the war and everything. That's a totally different subject. But the Canadians and U.S. seem to have had a brotherhood that the U.S. has taken for granted and have kind of cut us out. And I know there's a lot of Canadian drivers that are mad right now because of that, and I'm upset. You know, I don't hold any one person responsible. just the government as for, you know, their actions on doing this. It's unfortunate that it's happened, you know, but you also have to realize, you know, what benefits they've lost. They've lost the fuel that the Canadians would purchase down there. They've lost the border crossing payments. They've lost, you know, the drivers had to eat down there. That's revenue lost. Any repairs that would have happened down there, they've lost. So in essence, I believe, in my eyes, the U.S. has lost out more than I guess they would have gained, however, by making those in-transits disappear. That's my thoughts. Hopefully somebody else can back me up on that. Hopefully an American somewhere can get their voice heard on that. Thank you very much.